Welcome to Halloween Hole Inspector. I am your host, Hot Dog Detective, a certified bun inspector. How fitting. I know, right? I'm a Halloweenie. I'm a Halloween hot dog. I'm a ween inspector. I'm a ween and a bun inspector today, baby. This is harder than I thought it would be. I did not think about the logistics of making this work. The wiener is very complicated. Can you not, please? Can we be civilized?
Princess.
We are professional inspectors here. I run a professional hole inspecting business, okay? Okay? This is for marketing, all right? This is for the kids, all right? The costume, come on.
Excuse me.
I'm so comfortable right now, even. Ask me about my wiener. Ask me.
For the kids.
Don't look at this. Stop.
Well, excuse
Stop.
me,
I'm gonna.
princess.
Okay.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Sick. Okay. Okay. Now I gotta wrap this wiener up. Here. There's that one. Oh, you'd like to look at this mustard, wouldn't you, big boy? Wouldn't you? Just gonna stuff the tip of my wiener into this hat and hopefully it holds. Oh, this is actually working really nice. Fuck yeah, dude, look at me. I'm a fucking wiener inspector. Hello, I am Detective Hot Dog, certified bun inspector, and I am here to be your hole inspector today. What do we call this one? Ween inspector? Halloween. Yeah, okay. I wish we would have had a Halloween themed emote roll. Anyway, so we asked over the last couple months, the last couple weeks, the last couple days, just edit which one of those is true. And asking you for your ideas for Halloween themed keyword searches for Hole Inspector. So we have a cultivated list of Halloween themed holes. The keyword for this search was haunted house. Are you ready? Am I the hole for not allowing my fiance to invite his sister to our wedding? This is a throwaway for obvious reasons. My fiance and I are planning a wedding, obviously, and he wants his sister to be his best woman. They are impossibly close because they've been separated as kids because of their parents' divorce and only reconnected as adults. While I find it cute that they reconnected, I don't want her at my wedding. She's not someone I get along with. At 27, she still dreams of being an actor and a singer. She drops money on these acting and singing lessons. She's been training since she was 18, and she's only ever done background gigs and a few art shows. She did a popular haunted house once, there it is, and she's so proud of that mediocre achievement that she continues to brag about it to this day. Hey, you suck really bad. Why do you hate joy and magic and fun? I'm literally a hot dog noir detective, and you're the weird one. Think about that. Whenever we're around each other, she always has to be the center of my fiance's attention. She acts like a child, too. We would lose her every once in a while when we go shopping with her. She'd just wander off and then reappear as if nothing happened. My fiance said that's just how she's always been. She's too spontaneous and irresponsible. One minute she wants to watch a movie and the next she wants to play a card game. She would just suddenly decide to drop money on games or new gaming consoles even though she has so many of them. She has a long history of messy breakups and even chooses the worst men to date. Just a few years ago, she dated a guy who ended up stalking her and caused us so much trouble. She is constantly flirting with everyone. I don't know if she's doing it intentionally or if she's just like this, but it's annoying and embarrassing. When my fiance and I were discussing wedding guests, I told him that she is not invited because she will ruin my wedding. She's too uncontrollable and will embarrass us. You done fucking told on yourself, huh? You done just fucking told on yourself. You can't control her. My fiance got mad and said that he absolutely needs his sister there because he wants her to be his best woman. We argued and I expressed that I am not comfortable with her. She has been fighting me for his attention ever since he... This is giving like... she's jealous. It's weird. Fighting me for his attention ever since he introduced us, and I am tired of her behavior. He needs to draw a line with her now that we're getting married. A 27-year-old woman should not be this undisciplined. What do you mean by that? He yelled at me saying that I'm an asshole for insulting his sister, and he left the apartment. He refuses to pick up his phone when I call his family house. His sister picked up. She told me he told her everything and that she knew I was always an asshole. Am I really the asshole here? I just want my wedding to be perfect. I'm only going to have one wedding day and I don't want it ruined. Yeah. Yeah, you're an asshole. Yeah, you're a huge asshole. No. Next. Our next hole with the keyword pumpkin. Am I the hole for correcting every single sentence spoken by my boyfriend's aunt in front of everyone? I know the title looks pretty bad, but hear me out. I'm a native French speaker from Canada, but I have a very pronounced Acadian/Chiac accent. For those that don't know, I'm pretty much a mix of French and English with some local dialect thrown in there. Pretty common in the Maritimes where I still live. I'm perfectly bilingual in both languages. I started dating my boyfriend, who only speaks English, about 4 years ago and spent a lot of time with his family. They've all been really great except for one of his aunts. She says she was a French teacher in Anglophone schools for over 40 years up until a year ago, and even studied in France, and she insists on only talking to me in French. I agreed at first since I didn't want to be rude to his family, but it's getting super weird. I don't understand how she was able to teach kids English or how she comes up with most of her sentences. Like, I have to guess 90% of whatever she says and hope I'm right because it makes absolutely no sense. Example, she said, "A la citrulle la tarta von bien dans ma bouche," which roughly translates to the pumpkin a pie goes well in my mouth, when she meant to say, "This pumpkin pie tastes delicious." She constantly criticizes my accent and tries to correct my pronunciation of certain words and tells me I need to, quote, "pick a language" when I accidentally say something in Chiac. Speaking proper Francais standard is actually getting harder for me since I've only been studying/working in English. So last night during dinner, she started going on about how Acadians were uneducated and made no effort to properly learn a language, which is total bullshit and obviously weirdly directed at me. For the rest of the night, I stopped guessing what she was trying to say to me in French, acting like I didn't understand anything, and started correcting her as well, which was pretty much every single sentence she said. I wasn't trying to be rude or aggressive about it, but after a while, she gave up on French and ignored me for the rest of the night. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, she's just racist. Turns out she was super pissed and told everyone I was trying to embarrass her in front of everyone. Looking back, I think I might have taken it a bit too far, not stopping after 2 to 3 sentences, and I feel bad. My boyfriend said I was being bitchy, while his mom said she probably deserved it. W mom? Let's go! W mom? Huge? Am I the asshole here? Edit, forgot to mention that I told her a few years ago that it's hard for me to fully speak proper French as I spoke Chiac all my life. Tried to explain Acadian culture. She wasn't having it, surprise. And she stopped for a while, but is now doing it again. Not the asshole. Absolutely humble the fuck out of your boyfriend's aunt in every possible conceivable conceptual way. Thank you so much. Put her in her place. Yes, please be bitchy to racists. Thank you. Thank you. The next keyword is ghost. Oh my God. Oh my God. A huge hole. Huge hole. Am I the hole for telling my biological son to stop calling me mom? Long story short, when I, 40 female, was a teenager, I had a baby and gave him up for adoption. I did this through an agency, and one of the stipulations of the contract required the adoptive parents to provide my contact information to him after he was an adult, so that if he ever wanted to contact me, he could. Sure enough, 18 years later, I get a letter in the mail and he wants to meet. I said yes, and his mom flew with him to meet me in my state. We had a great visit, and it was amazing getting to know the great young man he grew up to be. We have kept in contact over the last couple years. I let him meet my kids, and I let him form a brotherly bond with them. Then he started calling me Mom. It feels weird for me for him to call me that, and it feels disrespectful to his mom, who I think is amazing to be so forthcoming and supporting of him having a relationship with me and my family. I really didn't want to hurt him, but I explained my feelings to him about a week ago, and I haven't heard from him since. While it is common for us to go for long periods of time without talking, I have a feeling that this particular bout of silence is due to him being upset, and I'm feeling guilty about it. Am I the asshole here? Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a weird one, I feel like. Yes, you can have multiple moms, but I do think that in this specific instance, it's an issue of comfort, you know? Edit number 1. Clearly, I am an inexperienced poster. It is worth mentioning that we met after he turned 18. He's going to be 23 next month. I guess I thought it would be assumed that he was in his 20s since I am 40 and birthed him as a teen. Edit number 2. So I made this post just before bed last night and did not expect it to have so many comments by this morning. To clarify a couple of things I have seen in the comments. 1, I gave him up at birth. He has never known me to be his mother, and his adoptive mom is his only mom. 2, giving him up was the single hardest thing I've ever had to do in my entire life. So to the people who say I rejected him, you have no idea what you're talking about. 3, I went through an agency and specifically chose his parents from stacks and stacks of files. Really? He has had a wonderful life full of so many more opportunities than my teenage self could have ever dreamed of giving him. 4, I didn't just blurt out, "Don't call me mom," or "I am not your mom." We had a conversation about it where I told him I was uncomfortable with it, and he seemed understanding about it and where I was coming from. 5, he harbors zero feelings of abandonment or rejection. His parents are wonderful parents, and he had a great life. His desire to meet me did not come from a, quote, "Why did you abandon me?" end quote, place. He was curious about me and wondered how much of his personality is nature versus nurture. Spoiler alert, a lot of his personality is nature. As an only child, though, he was very excited to meet his brothers. 6, I don't think he wanted to call me mom because he felt some mother-son connection between us. He said that he felt like I deserve a title that is more than just lady I got DNA from, especially around his brothers. I told him it is fine to just call me by my first name. 7, his biological father... Edit number 7, his biological father died of a drug overdose some years ago, and no, I did not give up on him because I was on drugs. I have never even smoked pot in my life. Update! I'm not sure if an update is supposed to be a whole different post or if it's supposed to go before or after the original, but here it is. We talked last night. He called just to shoot the shit, and I mentioned that I was worried that he got upset about the conversation about him calling me mom. He said he had been thinking about it for a while and wondering if it was appropriate, so he just threw it out there. He said that he was glad I wasn't gushing with happiness about it because as soon as he did it, it felt not right, and he was just as uncomfortable as I was about it. He also said he wasn't ghosting me or anything. Like I said, it was super common for us to go long periods without talking. He has just been busy going back and forth between home and school, moving back into the dorms and getting ready for the upcoming semester. So that's it. No big deal. Thank you to everyone who had kind and supportive words, feedback, and encouragement. I really appreciate it. Good outcome, baby. I love it. I love it. Consider this hot dog done and turned over. That's a good hole. That's a good bun. Ooh, new post. New post is the word ghoul. New post, ghoul. You ready? Am I the hole for not wanting my husband to go to his ex's funeral? I'll admit I'm biased right off the bat. I couldn't stand her. I call her his ex to myself and others. He called her his friend. We're all in our early 40s. She died recently, aneurysm. I've been with him 10 years now, but he'd known her for 20 plus. The way he tells it, they were friends in college, decided to date, got married, then realized they weren't a great couple and decided to just be friends. All that happened years before I met him. He was clear early on that she was, quote unquote, important. A couple months into dating, it came up that his friend is italicized, was actually his ex-wife. He explained the above to me, saying she was one of his closest friends and that it was purely platonic. I expressed some discomfort at him being so close to an ex, and he told me, quote, "That's fine. If you have a serious issue with it, let me know now and save us some time. I'll choose her. I like you and all, but I've known her for over 12 years and she's one of the most important people in my life. You'll have to be okay with that if you want us to be a thing." You agreed to that and you still hate her and are preventing him from going to her funeral? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. When we were engaged, I asked again. He gave me this perplexed look and asked, "Why would us getting married affect my friendships?" I sucked it up and went along. I resented every moment of knowing her, especially when we had to be social. Why did you, if it bothered you that much, why did you keep going? If it bothered you, then why? That's a you problem. She understood some part of him I couldn't. Her husband was friends with mine as well, so it's not like I could use him as an angle. What does that fucking mean? What? He'd have lunch with the ex, they'd go to their geeky movies and whatever. Do you even love this man? A few times I brought it up, he said, "We had this conversation before, you had your chance to back out." She died after they had lunch the other day on the way to her car. He spent a bunch of time crying, but honestly, I was relieved. What? Asshole doesn't cover it. You're fucking evil, dude. We're gonna get even more angry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Because I know I'm going to want to scream and yell into the void at the situation, I'm going to try and hunker down. I'm gonna try and barrel through this one because it's just gonna piss me off. He spent a bunch of time crying, but honestly, I was relieved. He was working with her husband on funeral planning. I told him, "You don't think you're going, do you?" My argument summed up. She's dead, so she's not a factor anymore. He doesn't get to use his "she's my friend" excuse since she doesn't exist anymore. He had his cry for a couple days. He gets to be done with mourning her already. There's no need for him to go to her funeral since I wouldn't want her at his. He was the angriest I've ever seen him when I told him that, replying that he'll be going no matter how I feel and that he's willing to burn this to the fucking ground while holding up his wedding band. Besides you, she was the closest friend in my life. Him, her husband, and my sisters are calling me an insensitive asshole over this, all saying that there was no romantic aspect to their relationship and that I'm heartless. Her husband went so far as calling me a ghoul for how I've reacted. There it is. I never felt their relationship was appropriate, and I hid that for years because I wanted to be with my husband. Now that she's gone, I don't feel like I should have to hide it anymore and can speak freely. You literally were given the out at the beginning of the relationship that if you had a fucking problem with it, to speak now or forever hold your peace. Your peace needs to be held. Am I the asshole for just wanting him to be done with her and for him to not attend the funeral? Yes, you are a fucking evil I don't say this lightly. I do not like using this term to refer to women because it is misogynistic to its core. However, you are an evil, manipulative bitch. I have to believe that this post is not real and that someone would be this heartless. This is evil. This is evil. You are more than the word asshole could ever hope to describe. The next one is candy corn. You're not ready for this one because I'm not ready for this one. Am I the hole for using poop bags for my daughter's birthday party? I mean, I'm assuming they were fresh, so that at that point it's just a bag. I would certainly fucking hope so. Hey kids, here's some candy in a bag. Don't mind the dog shit. My daughter just turned 6. We had a birthday party for her on Saturday. That morning was pretty hectic. I was outside setting up, and suddenly my wife comes outside yelling about how the grocery store screwed up the birthday cake, and I didn't notice. All that happened was that they spelled our daughter's name as Sarah with an H, and it's Sarah, no H. And I said, who cares? Just scrape off the H. But she insisted on returning it. So I said, fine, whatever. And then as she's leaving, she says, since I screwed up already, I should make up for it by finishing the decorations. And I go into the kitchen and I ask my daughter, what's the most important thing? She says, the gift bags. I found all the candy and toys and what I thought were the bags they were supposed to go into. So I make up the bags, my daughter helps, and she thinks they look great and she's happy with them. My wife comes home and takes over, satisfied by the new cake and the attempt I made at helping. So a little while after that, the guests arrived. The day went pretty well until the end. My daughter reminds us that they need to hand out gift bags. My wife panics, thinking she forgot about them, but she says, don't worry, Dad made them, and she looked so relieved until I got the box. She looked inside and was horrified. What the fuck is this? She whispers, and she thrusts the box back at me and rushes to the bedroom. I follow her and find her sitting on the bed, crying. She's so embarrassed. Why? She won't say. I'm not sure what to do because people are trying to leave and they're confused as to what's going on. I then just take over goodbye duty and hand out the bags to kids at the door and say bye with my daughter. Halfway through doing that, my wife came back out and took the box from me and brought it into the bedroom and threw it on the ground. She tells me those are dog poop bags. And basically I'm stupid and ruined all of the hard work she put into the party. Well, Reddit, they don't look like dog poop bags. They're just small pink bags with hearts on them. Who really cares? I tell her it's not like they're dirty. They're just small bags like any other bags. And damn it, she freaked. She says she's so mortified she doesn't even want to show her face at the school anymore. So yeah, I've been bringing my daughter to school every day this week, which has been making me late for work. My wife will barely even speak to me, even though my daughter thinks everything was fine. She laughed when I told her they were really dog poop bags. My wife got even more mad at me for telling her. I told my wife she needs to chill, and she basically said I was a huge asshole, and she's mad that I don't think it's a big deal, and I still don't. Actually, I think I'm the one that should be mad at her for keeping this going for almost a week. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Pink bag with hearts. I would have been confused too. Like, yeah, I feel like it's not a big deal. I do feel like OP is a little bit removed from what's going on. Really nonchalant about everything. Satisfied by the new cake and the attempt I made at helping. It kind of sounds a little bit like trying to get out of doing literally any work at all. I feel like OP is a klutz, but is well-meaning, not weaponized incompetence, maybe a little bit of normal incompetence. Okay, yeah. Putting dollars to dildos, like communication. More communication needed to be had here. I think the bag thing was blown out of the water, but there are a good amount of larger problems that need to be addressed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And the fact that it was made such a big deal, like there's gotta be more shit going on, you know? Actually, let me check throwaway dog bags account. Oh, hijacking this comment to post a small update. After posting here and seeing all the replies, I have to admit I was pretty surprised with all the comments calling me the asshole. I thought it would be best to talk to my wife about what happened. I realized she was definitely exaggerating about what happened, but I still don't like seeing her upset or having her mad at me, especially for this long. She's still my wife and my best friend. Anyway, she went to bed early last night, so we didn't get a chance to talk to her after the post, but this morning when we woke up, I told her that she should take the day off, and I told her I would take our daughter out so she could have some alone time. She asked me, what about tonight? Because originally I was planning to go out tonight with a couple friends, and I told her I was going to cancel. She asked why, then I tried to explain that I felt bad about the poop bags, and then she just got upset all over again. She turned over to face away from me, but I was pretty sure she started crying again. She told me to go away, but instead of leaving, I just held her and kept asking why she was so upset about the stupid poop bags until she finally told me that some of the other moms at school had been pretty judgmental in the past, and she was afraid that they were all talking shit about her now, no pun intended. I tried to tell her that it doesn't matter what the other moms say or think because she's a great mom and that she really wasn't having it. I did wonder at that point if there was actually more to it than that because it didn't seem like she was telling me the truth completely. and I really don't see how this could be that big of a deal. Some of the comments mentioned therapy, so I brought that up, but she didn't seem too happy about it. I'm going to take my daughter out now. She's fine, by the way, so thanks to all those who were asking. And I guess I'll try to talk to my wife again later. Thanks for the support, everyone. This has been a bit unexpected and has really given me a lot to think about. That definitely gives me an impression that the mom was being a bit of a perfectionist to try and, like, not necessarily show off, but like try to meet the expectations of the other moms at school who have been assholes in the past. Yeah, exactly, Kerfuffle. The party was another opportunity to prove herself to the other moms. Yeah, definitely everyone sucks here for, like, there still needed to be more communication. 100%. New Dickie going live. This is the costume. This is the costume post. Am I the whole for making my daughter return a Halloween costume? This happened in October and my daughter is still acting cold and hardly speaking to me. My daughter, female 16, works an after-school job 5 days a week. She paid for the fucking costume herself. You're a dickhole. You're a dickbag McGillicuddy. Chop it off, put it in a bag, light it on fire, stomp on it on the doorstop, sweep the ashes up, put in a little compression, compress it down into a little crystal, shove the crystal up my asshole. Her high school had a costume contest for Halloween. My daughter and her friends planned to do a group costume to enter. She went with her friends after school to buy costumes. I picked her and her friends up from the store and they showed me their costumes. My daughter spent $80 on hers. I was pissed. That's a lot of money to spend on something you're going to wear for a few hours. Very irresponsible use of money. I told her as much in the car and told her it was ridiculous. I dropped her friends off and took her back to the store to return the costume and accessory. It was her money to do with what she wanted, to have fun with her friends, and you ruined all of that. In front of her friends, right? Her friends found someone else to take her place in the group and they won the contest and a $100 Visa gift card to split. My daughter came home from school on Halloween upset. She claimed she had to sit and watch while her friends had fun and she missed out on everything. I pointed out to her that after splitting the gift card, it would be way less than what she spent on the costume. It was only a few hours, but she didn't want to listen to reason. Because it's to have fun and to be included with your friends, to do an event together, you soulless, heartless, joyless piece of shit. Now, a month later, she is still moody. She's still moody. Shut the fuck up. And mostly ignoring me. My ex-husband told me I made her miss out, and she works so much. She missed out on a lot of stuff with her friends and could let her have this. But at the end of the day, I saved her $80. You saved her $80 to spend on what else? What could she do with $80 that would benefit her in the long run? What could she do with $80 that would have enriched her life in any reasonable, conceivable, concrete way that would not have been a memorable experience with her friends? You know what you gave her instead? Memories and the thought and knowledge that you will prioritize money over happiness and love. That's what you did. I was just trying to teach my daughter how to be responsible with money. No, you were not. And she could have gotten a cheap costume, especially since she would have only worn it a few hours. You are an asshole. Next question. Asshole. Paying it out. Congratulations, whole believers. Our next post is the skeleton keyword. Our next keyword is skeleton. You ready? Am I the whole for not taking down our Halloween decorations? Update posted at the bottom. My husband and I moved into this neighborhood about 2 years ago after we got married. We haven't been able to celebrate Halloween the last 2 years due to COVID. It's our favorite holiday, so this year we decided to go all out. We filled our yard with tombstones and skeletons. All of our bushes and trees were wrapped in fake webbing, the tree closest to the street having a huge 6-foot spider dangling from its limbs. The final touch was a huge rope web that we added extra webbing to fill out that hangs from our roof all the way out to the street. We're not into gory stuff, so we got a couple of fuzzy spider decorations to place around the yard. It took us hours to decorate, and we were so excited, my husband looked like a kid in a candy store. Yesterday, while my husband was at work, I heard a knock on my door. Turned out to be our neighbor. He looked absolutely frantic. I didn't even have a chance to ask what has happened when he yelled in my face, "You need to take all this shit down." I was really taken aback. This neighbor has always been very nice to us. I've seen other houses decorate the past few years, maybe not to this extent, but I know it's not against our HOA rule. I decided to ask if that was his issue just in case. He looked at me completely dumbfounded and started going off. "Cut the crap. You need to put all this away. My wife has arachnophobia. Your yard practically gave her a heart attack this morning." I don't give a shit. I kind of fucked up here and laughed. Oh. No. Yes. As you should. As you should and as you deserve. Laughed in their fucking face! I didn't think our purple fuzzy spiders with big googly eyes would even scare the little kids in the neighborhood. You're pulling my leg, right? He got in my face and practically stepped into my house. "You're going to scare my wife to death. If you and your husband don't take all this shit down, I'm reporting you. I'm a retired police officer and I can make this a real problem for you." Fuck you! I started seeing red and getting really uncomfortable because I was completely home alone and my husband wouldn't be home for hours. Even if I wanted to take it down, it would be impossible without his help. Listen, this is our first time getting to celebrate Halloween in our house, and we really put a lot into our yard. We don't even have any gory or graphic decorations. None of our spiders even look realistic. Can we please not do this right now? I don't give a shit. Take it down or else. He didn't really give me a chance to answer. He just started walking back to his yard. Our decorations are not scary. Other neighbors have even said that our yard is cute. We also spent a few $100s decorating. It would be a huge waste to take it all down. I haven't told my husband yet because I know he's petty and will throw a fit and probably decorate with even more spiders out of spite. I refuse to take down our decorations. This is really important to us and I just really want to enjoy our favorite holiday with my husband. Am I the whole? Update. A lot of you wanted to see my decorations, so here they are. Yes! Yes! We get the sauce! You can see the big web fuzzy spiders on the bushes and our big guy in the tree. I talked to my husband about it and we're installing a Ring doorbell this weekend. I'll be taking it up with the HOA and documenting everything that happens going forward. Oh, give me the sauce. Give me the sauce. No, 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 no! The requested page cannot be found! Oh, this is the worst day of my life! Ah! Yeah, not the asshole for standing up to a piece of shit cop, threatening to use his status as a public servant to commit violence against you? Question mark? Reddit said not the asshole. Let me see. Not the asshole, but he is. I would call and report that he was making threats. This is important. He made a threat by implying his connections. Law enforcement specifically would give you a hard time. He cannot do that. Yeah. That means we can come back to some hot dog hole inspector, baby. I'm taking my head out of the wiener. I've poked my head through the wiener hole so that I can not overheat so much. We can come. You can come. You can come in my bussy. It's true. All right. The next hole. The next hole is paint, which the keyword suggested was body paint. There were no stories, so we're doing paint. Am I the hole for telling my neighbor to grow up, get a life, and get the fuck over the fact that I painted my house a color he doesn't like? I got a little bit ahead of myself. I bought a house in a community without an HOA. I wanted my home to be my home, and that includes making it look like the way that I want. I also chose a neighborhood that already has fun, colorful houses instead of just plain earth tones. I finally got to the point where I could repaint my house. A soft peachy color with sage blue and soft and dark pink accents. Fun and colorful without being too out there. I think if you Google colors blue sage peach, you'll see a similar palette. My neighbor Paul fucking hates it and has been complaining since we started the project. He also made his opinion known that he hates our front lawn. Lots of wildflowers and sunflowers, fun garden flags, and a little free library, etc. Each and every time I've told him that I don't care. Truly, I don't. And I've suggested a few times that maybe he'd be happier in an HOA community that has control over everything and forces people into having earth-toned homes. Paul got angry when I suggested that, and he said he's lived in this home for 15 years and shouldn't have to move. I told him, okay, well, you'll have to learn to live with the little color. Last weekend, I was putting in pavers that my niece and I had painted together. They're all little things like ladybugs, turtles, birds, etc. in fun colors. I adore them, and my niece is so excited she gets to be a part of my home. Paul came over to complain yet again, saying that it's all an eyesore, and my niece was here, so I just told him, it's time for you to grow up and get the fuck over what I'm doing with my house. He got even pissier and told me that I have no right to talk to him this way. Do I know who he's talking to, etc. I told him to just go away and get a fucking life. If he has this much free time to bitch and moan about a colorful house, maybe he should get a hobby. He stormed off, calling me a nasty piece of work. My niece was cracking up on the side. For the record, no one in my family is uptight. We really don't care about cursing. I know some people still clutch their pearls over it around kids. She's 15, but I'm sure she says worse. Anyway, one of the other neighbors came to tell me that he's been flapping his yap about how disrespectful I am to talk to him like that. She told me that she knows he's a pain, but that he has been in the neighborhood forever and it's worth being nice to him. I don't know. Is telling him to get a life that big of a deal? Am I the asshole? Why is this guy so bothered by a house that isn't his? That's a good fucking question. Because he's old and bitter and a boomer. Keep your allergy to fun away from my fun normal home, okay? Whimsy-less, no whimsy. I diagnose you with no whimsy. It is unfortunately terminal. Anyway, not the asshole. Keep your house the way that you want it. Easy peasy. The keyword was Ouija board, and we got a post about a Ouija board, about a Weggy board, a Wega board.
The Luigi board?
Am I the hole for telling my uncle that if he's really that concerned about what my father would have thought of my life, he's free to pick up a Ouija board and ask him? I, 26 female, just got married to my wife Nadia, 28 female, a few months ago. Nadia and I have been together for 4 years now. We both were raised in traditional immigrant households, and as first generations, there were a lot of pressure on us to exist a certain way. It took a long time for Nadia and I to both be comfortable with the fact that we only liked women. Oh, with the fact that not only did we like women, but that we liked each other. If we hadn't had that internalized stuff to work through, I honestly think we would have gotten married sooner. I can't imagine spending my life with anybody else. We decided to have professional wedding pictures done since we didn't really have an actual wedding. We just went to the courthouse instead. We wore traditional wedding clothes from our cultures in the pictures because we're proud of where we come from, and it meant a lot to me to wear my grandmother's wedding clothes. When we got the pictures back, I sent a few of them in my small family group chat. Both sides of my family are trying their best to be accepting of me and my wife, so my mom had actually been the one to ask for the pictures initially. Everyone was really sweet about it, saying that Nadia and I looked lovely and that they were happy for us. My uncle, Dad's brother, ended up calling me and asking why I wore my grandmother's wedding clothes for, quote, something like that. Then he asked how I thought my father would feel about the way I've been living my life since he died. He passed when I was 16. I told him that I wore my grandmother's clothing because it had always been intended for me since she didn't have any daughters and I was her only granddaughter, and that it was my right to wear it in my wedding pictures. Then I said that if he was that worried about what my father thought of the way I've been living my life, he was free to pick up a Ouija board and ask him. My uncle hung up on me and ended up telling my mother what I said. Now my mom is upset with me for saying something so cruel to my father's own brother. Something so cruel? That was so tame. More cruel than being homophobic, that's what I'm saying. She said my dad would be ashamed of my behavior and that I should apologize to my uncle. Nadia doesn't think it was cruel of me to say, but she said that if I wanted to make the drama go away, the easiest thing to do would be to apologize and ignore it if they bring it up again. Hole Inspector does not advocate for violence towards any individual. However, in Minecraft, bigots and homophobes deserve to be run over with cars. Thank you. Yeah, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your uncle's a prick. Ooh, next up we got Corn Maze. Like, that just sounds like you're guzzling a glizzy right there. Did the pyramid head wiener dance get you that hard? That's not what I meant to say. Get you, as in like affect you that much, like get you that good, like affect you to that degree is what. Listen, most of the time I am intentionally dirty. That time, however, completely on accident. Shut the fuck up, Logan. All right, new Dickie. I'm opening a prediction for the next Reddit Am I the Asshole post that you can put your channel points into the prediction. You can gamble your fake internet points on this prediction. Am I the hole for not lending my niece one of my girlfriend's jackets? No! I'm taking my wiener off. Fuck you guys. De-wieners your stream. Congratulations, chat. Congratulations. Ride it too hard. Got wiener time taken away. Yep. Say goodbye to your wiener. Am I the hole for not lending my niece one of my girlfriend's jackets? My sister's family came by my place on the way to a pumpkin patch with a corn maze. Corn maze mention, they live a few hours away, so they stopped at my house for a pee break. Piss! Piss and corn maze! Let's go! Cute. This is a good hole, dude. This is a good hole. It had unexpectedly gotten a bit chilly outside, so my niece, Elsie, asked if she could borrow a jacket. So I got her one of mine. She ended up saying never mind, that she didn't think she needed it anymore. I didn't really think much of it after that. My sister called me the next week to tell me that I really upset Elsie. Elsie had just come out as transgender a few... I did not know what this post was about. I had no idea when when we made all those unwienering jokes. Elsie had come out as transgender a few months ago and is still dealing with some of the fallout from friends and other family members. By offering her a masculine-looking jacket, I had really upset her and caused her to be hyper-focused on her appearance and question herself. She said Elsie had seen other more feminine-looking jackets in my house, and Elsie was sure I was going to offer her one of them. My sister says I should have, because I should have known how much it would mess with Elsie. The thing is, those jackets are my girlfriend's jackets. I didn't think it was my place to offer them up to someone else. Edit, in case it was not clear, I did know my niece was transgender before they came over. I've known for months, like everyone else, when she came out. Yeah, it wasn't done with any malice. He just didn't have his own jackets to give up, you know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like it was unintentional, for sure. Dysphoria is the asshole. Real, 100%. Yeah. This didn't compete with him. The niece would hate masculine clothing. Right. And like dealing with, like, it's currently very fresh for her right now, especially with all of like her friends and family and dealing with the fallout of that after coming out as transgender. Everything's gonna feel intentional, you know? It's never your fault for triggering someone's anxieties, PTSD, or like for triggering someone, period. It's never your fault for triggering someone unless you do it intentionally. How you react to that and how you deal with it afterwards is what matters. If the niece had asked and he said no, I could see yes the asshole, but he wasn't thinking of offering his girlfriend's clothes because they're not his to offer. Right. I think no assholes here, just an unfortunate thing that happened and a learning moment. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. No assholes here. This literally actually has the no assholes here flare tag on it, which I don't know if I've ever actually seen before. That was Corn Maze. Our next is Halloween Party. Am I the hole for throwing a party for my daughters after they were uninvited? Going yes, the asshole, because that sounds like a parent trying to be spiteful, not supportive. Interesting. Okay. My daughters, 11 and 10, both have purple hair. They love it this way and have been getting it dyed since they were 6, with caution. They were invited to a little girl's birthday / Halloween party under the condition that they have their hair dyed a natural color? I asked why, and the mother insisted their hair would take away from birthday pictures because they'd draw attention. I asked if my daughters could just not be in the pictures, and she said there's no way to guarantee that, and to either dye their hair a normal color or they can't come. I said, fine. This was like October 8th or maybe the 9th. So I decided to throw a party for my daughters on Halloween, since they won't be able to go to that one, and invited her classmates. I decided to throw a party for my daughters on Halloween since they won't be able to go to that one, and invited her classmates. The girl was in a completely separate class. We had a party, cake, bounce house. We had the party, cake, bounce house, candy piñata, and all that cool jazz. The girls had a blast, and I posted a few pictures online. Apparently this was the wrong move because the little girl's mother saw my post and asked what right I had to steal her daughter's moment from her. Her daughter saw the pictures and was upset she didn't get to come to the party because they didn't have the things that we did. Her mother said I was an asshole for one-upping her just because her kids couldn't come to their party, and that if I really wanted them there, I would have just dyed their hair. Am I the asshole? Get fucked! Info. The invite was on the 8th, as was the hair dye request. A week after we RSVP'd in the negative. I planned a Halloween party on the same day, October 31st, Halloween. I did not throw a party on some obscure day that happened to be her birthday for the giggles and the petties. It was a Halloween party on Halloween. Info part 2, that lady is in a completely different tax bracket than me. She had a pony, assorted teas, catered, and a wagon ride as well. Oh, so you disrespected someone with more money than you. You were petty in a different tax bracket. Good show. Good show. Yes, very good indeed. I fucking love it. Anyway, not the asshole. You're actually a god. Next. Ooh. The final Halloween hole. Trick or treat. Am I the hole for making my son pass out the candy he got from trick or treating because he was being rude? My son is 9 years old. We went trick-or-treating like we usually do, and the night was going well, except when we got to a house that had a bowl of candy sitting on the porch that said, "Take 2, please." He put his whole hand in there and grabs about 6 pieces. Of course, I corrected him and made him put 4 of them back, explaining we need to leave some for the others. From then on, he had an attitude, and the last straw was when I told him to stop grabbing so much candy from people. He screamed, "No." Oh. We had only been out for about an hour or so. I took him right on home. Took his candy bag, dumped it in a bowl, and told him to come sit outside on the porch with me. He objected, of course, as kids came by and took handfuls of his candy. He complained that they were taking too much, and I told him that he shouldn't have done the same then. You know? His father came home from work, asked why he was in his room crying, to which I explained why. He said it was really cruel to give away the kids' candy just because he was taking a little too much. I said he needs to learn to not be so greedy, to which my husband said that it's okay, it's Halloween. He said I was being a jerk and that I should cut some slack for the one holiday that kids get to pig out. I don't agree, although I figured I could have done this differently. Am I the asshole? Edit. No, I did not give away the entire bowl. And even if I had, I would have no problem providing him more once he learned his lesson and apologized. It is a good lesson for empathy, but also 9, you know? But also, I'm so torn. I didn't hear the first part of multiple times. If kiddo ain't listening to reason, then they need a genuine lesson. Yeah. I think it was a good lesson in empathy. Yeah, the longer we stew on it, the more I'm like, because at first I was like, yeah, it's pretty harsh to watch people take candy away from you after you went out and you got it. But like, at the same time, it literally shows you that the exact thing that you were doing was wrong. It's that lesson of extended empathy, that you may not be affecting other people directly, but your actions will affect other people, you know? I think OP's spouse is the asshole. Oh yeah. Completely denying the kid of all the Halloween candy would be pretty fucked up, but letting the other kids take handfuls of the candy the way he was a really good way to impart that lesson. I think so too, especially since they didn't give all the candy away. You just sat out on the front porch and let other people take candy away from him to show exactly what he was doing wrong in a very direct sort of way. I think that honestly, that's technically better communication and better parenting than we see on Reddit all goddamn day.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.